welcome back to McCaffrey Farms. Now, I know it's been a little while since I got my last video out. Wasn't able to get one out last weekend. It's kind of a slow weekend, didn't really get much done. We did swath, but apologies. We did swath, but didn't really get much time to video it, so didn't really make for a good video. However, we got more swathing to do. We're down to 460 acres. 2 fields, because one of the fields happens to be half a section, 320 acres. But this one is a quarter, which is 160 acres. Already got the tractor greased and ready to go. Just gotta check the oil, make sure that's good. But otherwise, got it ready yesterday. Dad said it's basically full of fuel and good to go. So we'll check the oil, and a little low, but not too terrible. We'll be able to run it. Dad has gotten another field baled. He's gonna move to this one right over there, and then he'll do this one, and then that one will be done. Doing decent, not the greatest, just because this stuff's only had 5 inches of rain this summer. It's kind of hard to grow a crop with 5 inches of rain. But anyways, let's get to the swathing. Really till fall's here and colder weather's coming, because it always takes a little bit more effort for the tractor to start. But it is pretty cool. Cold starts pretty good, especially with this tractor. Doesn't look quite as good with that hole because it comes out of 2 spots, but we're planning on changing that here soon. I know I said in earlier videos we will, but new stacks are kind of expensive, and I mean, I guess this way we have dual exhaust, if you want to say that. But one thing with this tractor getting a few more hours, it definitely is starting a little harder in the cold seasons. Nothing to really worry about. It's just what happens when an engine gets old. This one has right around 7,000 hours. I think it was overhauled around 7,000 hours. Still going on strong, still running great. So this one is gonna last much more than 7,000 hours, but it is starting a little harder during the cold seasons. But like I said, nothing to worry about, just puts on a good show. Now I don't know how much of this field I'll be able to get swathed. As you can see, I'm just gonna be starting it now. 160 acres, probably going about 8 miles an hour. It's right at about 8 o'clock. It's 7:58, so time I get the auto steer set up and going and actually get started, it'll probably be right at 8 o'clock, which is about what I was planning on, so that's always good. But probably gonna have to leave the field by 2:30 or 3:30, depending on what time I want to leave. Like I said, it's a 4-hour trip back up to Laramie, and I don't really want to be getting up there at midnight, so I'm gonna have to leave somewhat early in the day. So should be able to get a decent amount of this knocked out, and we'll just have to see. Alright, so I got the auto steer started up. I'm gonna get ready to knock this field out. What I did for the job or whatever, job file for the field, is I just took the previous job from when we drilled this. I started it on this south side where I'm gonna start going around. I'm gonna go clockwise around the field, so I'm gonna be heading north into the north side first, but then I'll start working north on this field. So when I drilled it, I did the same thing. I worked from the south to the north, so this should be the same line for this field. We'll just have to see. Hopefully it works, but either way, if it works out good, because I think that line was also fairly similar with this side, I'll try and set the auto steer for both sides, that way it works perfectly. But we'll just have to see. Got it started, so let's get this field knocked out, or at least as much of it as I can. As I was going, I just noticed something that made me stop, because when I first saw it, it looked a heck of a lot bigger, but still would not have been good to send this through there. So for now, it'll go out there where we don't farm. It's always better to stop than run something through and break some stuff.
The case I normally use, I set it on the swather. Forgot to grab it. I think I kind of know where to look for it. We'll have to see. Thankfully, I still at least have this one, but I don't know how the sound is gonna be. Hopefully, I can find it. I'll just have to look before I go home, because I'm on my last round around the field, and I'm going to start working back and forth, but I'm going to be on this side. Unfortunately, I think it's over there somewhere. So, hopefully you guys can hear me in this video. But, yeah, I'm going to have to go find that, because I kind of use that one the most. I just use this one because it's got a better seal and kind of keeps it dust free. Because I don't see it on there right now. But I'll try and find it, and I'll keep you guys posted. Alright, so I stopped real quick because I want to show you something. I apologize if the video is not the best quality. My battery died on my GoPro, so I'm using my phone. But what I wanted to show you is here in some of these spots, as you can see, it wasn't the best stand. Got a little dry, some of it didn't come up, pressed it over. But there's something I want to show you with this hay grazer. Before I show you, hay grazer, what you want when you swath it, you want it to be some narrow stems, some smaller stems with nice big leaves. For instance, a leaf like this would be amazing, and you want as many leaves as you can. There's one thing on some of this hay grazer in spots like this where it's a little thinner that isn't the best, and we don't really like seeing in the crop, but will work out. And that is On some of these plants, we have some really thick stalks. And as you can see, nice big leaves. There's, for instance, on this one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 leaves. Nice big leaves right on that stem, on that plant. There's quite a few like this. This one probably has closer to 11 or 12 leaves. Nice big head. That's what we like to see, except for that. And if I come over here where I've already swathed, I'll show you a bit more of the diameter of the stalks. Like this one here, that's easily a $50 size coin. Like I said, it's not really a big deal. We can get through it. Most likely this hay is gonna be ground up, so a lot of that's gonna go away. But if we were to have to unroll a bale that came from this area and had a bunch of stalks like that, the cows wouldn't eat it that great. They still would, but they would leave more. Like I said, not a really big deal. It's not the best to be seeing that thick of plants, but like I said, 90% chance this stuff's gonna get ground up, so that won't matter. But since I stopped, I need to find a bathroom around this place. There we go. Dad just came and took over for me. It's 1:30. He took over because he was gonna rake, like I said earlier, but when I go by the field, I'll show you why he's running the swather now and I'm going home. But Dad is not raking right now because when he got over here and got the tractor hooked up to start raking, he noticed one of these wheels was wobbling. Turns out that wheel bearing went bad. As you can see, he's got it all off. I think he's got the part number and he's talked to John Deere. Yes, they're Vermeer, but Vermeer made John Deere rakes exactly like that. They just painted them green, slapped John Deere logos on them, so the parts are the same. So I think he's gonna call John Deere and get those parts. It kind of screwed up Dad's plans because he's hoping I could run the swather till 3 or 4 and get quite a bit of that field swath, which I mean, I got a fair amount of it swathed for starting at 8 and getting off at 1:30. But that came up and now he won't be able to get that field raked or even some of it baled tonight, unfortunately. Before I end this video though, real quick, I'm gonna go by some of the other fields on my way home because I'm basically done for the day. All I have to do is drive up to Laramie and I'm gonna be 2 hours earlier than what I first expected, so I got some time. So I'm gonna show you the crops. This is, I think, would have been the 4th field we planted this year. It's a little bit bigger, but it's looking really good also. Got a great stand on it all, looking really good. And then this one coming up, not the Milo field, looking decent, not amazing, but pretty good for the year. We'll be cutting that soon. I'm about bet on it. But this is the 3rd field of wheat that we planted this year. It's also looking really good. Actually, wait, no. The field I just showed earlier, just before this one, that was the 3rd field, and then this was the 4th field. But both of them are looking really good. The wheat's starting to get pretty big here. Thankfully, we got everything in good moisture. And since we were able to get everything in good moisture, it's all coming up really good. Hopefully we can get some moisture for it soon. And hopefully this summer, or this winter, we can get more snow for it. This field of Milo's looking pretty good too. Should have planted all the Milo earlier this year. The reason that stuff's better is because it still had moisture and was able to head out before it really got hot and ran out of moisture like all the other stuff did. This neighbor's Milo's looking decent too. There's just not many fall crops that are looking good, like, or looking outstanding, simply because we didn't have the moisture. And I think I said this in an earlier video, but when that snowstorm came in, it was pretty windy, and my gosh, I think this stuff has grown even more, making me feel short, and I'm 6'3". But when that snowstorm came, a lot of the crops that were taller and bigger did kind of fall over. But thankfully, this stuff is still standing amazing. It's looking really good, and it definitely has grown some because I'm in a fairly average spot, and it's like half a foot above my waist in most spots. So it's definitely grown. But another good thing we like to see, still green. Stalks are still green. The heads, I don't really know how to tell if it's dry with Milo before we harvest it. We probably could take some heads and get a way to get some of the seed out of it and test it. But the heads are starting to kind of open up, and I think that's kind of a sign, because as you can see, it's getting, some of them getting pretty loose. I think that's kind of a sign it's starting to dry out. There's, like this, we've noticed there's a few sucker heads that are a little green, but for the most part, it's all pretty tall. Some absolute massive heads out here. For instance, there's the top of this head. The bottom of my hand is right at the bottom, and it's some big heads. And when you come down the rows, nice big bushy rows, not much space. Like, look at that. This is our pivot trail, don't mind that. But it's looking absolutely amazing, and glad to see the stalks are still really green, because I think we could come in here and run the header like right in here, right under all the heads, get just the heads, leave this nice dark green stubble, and then we're gonna slap a fence around this circle and hopefully put the cows out on it and let them eat on it. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're enjoying the content overall, be sure to subscribe, and that's a great way to support my channel. And I ask for all the support I can get, and I'm so thankful for all the support I have been getting. Really appreciate it. It's really helping me continue to make these videos, so thank you so much. But that's gonna do it. Be sure to go check out my Instagram page at McCaffrey_farms. Pretty sure the proper account name will be under in the description, so be sure to go check that out. I post as much as I can, especially now where I'm going up to Laramie for school. But thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in again.